Passion is the best brand you could ever wear because it's real. Anytime something is real is right. Anytime something is just a part of you, it's effortless. It just comes so easy. And who wouldn't want to live a lifestyle that is not as challenging for them because it's not as challenging for a person because it's a part of you. So if you want to be anything, be passionate. Be passionate about something that is going to raise the vibration of the earth, because the earth is sick, okay? That's why all of this crazy stuff is happening, because the earth is fighting back now. Tired of being mistreated and neglected. We've been blessed to be here, to live life, to take care of it, and that's not what has been happening. There's just been foul play from every direction, not just on individuals, but on the earth too. And if we're all one, being that we are all one, I'm just saying if, but we are. Being that we're all one, if we are sick, the earth is sick. If the earth is sick, then we are sick. So, in order to heal the earth, we have to heal us. Hi, I'm Mystic Alchemy. Thank you for being here. Spirit wants to let you know that in order to heal this earth, we have to heal ourselves. It starts with us. Everything always starts with you, you know? Everything starts with us. And sometimes we might be led to believe that the starting point is somewhere else, but it's always within you. Because it's one, you know how you say one step at a time? The change is one person at a time. It would move faster if it's groups at a time, though. The more the merrier. And then everyone's value will go up. And the quality would improve of each individual once they learn themselves, once they understand who they are. So the journey now is to understand who you are and what your passion is. Do any of you know what you're passionate about? Like what makes you tick? Something that you really, really enjoy? Start there. If you don't know what that is, it means that you're very distracted and you haven't been able to quiet your mind enough to recognize what it is that you're passionate about. It's easy to forget what means the most to you because of the distractions and because of the lack of silence, the lack of being able to hear oneself. It takes time for you to be able to hear yourself. I almost said heal yourself, but it takes time for you to heal yourself as well. When you learn to quiet your mind and allow your thoughts to speak to you, that's when you begin to prep your mind for more, for the real good stuff, the stuff that sticks. And I'm not going to go into deep detail with that just because this is not, I don't want to go that deep in this video and take it there. However, I do want to say that it's good for you to start indulging in different topics that you find that interest you so you can check your passions. Your passions also, they are found where your emotions run high. Spirit just said, your passions are found where your emotions run high. So whatever it is that you know make you very happy, make you very sad, make you frustrated, make you feel surprised, Follow your emotions. That's basically what I'm saying. Your emotions tell you where your passions lie, because many of us have multiple things that we're passionate about. We just don't even recognize them because we're used to seeing them. We're used to knowing ourselves. We just don't find significance in these little intricate aspects of us, these little small spaces within us that drive us to make certain moves or take certain action. They're actually very massive, intricate spaces within you, but you just don't recognize them because they are you. So you're used to you. So it would be helpful for some of you if you had someone to help you to see yourself, because the chaos around you can blind you. It could blind you. And then you'll have a bunch of blind spots, not only externally, but internally. You'll have many blind spots. If you all drive, you know what it is to pay attention to your blind spot when you're driving, because you really can't see anything if you don't roll and look to see who's in your blind spot when you are driving. Okay, so it's the same thing with the destruction of your lacking in silence and feeling comfortable in silence when you do have some. Because some of you will get into a silent place and feel like you need some action. You feel like you need company or someone needs to be around you, because you might feel uncomfortable if you're by yourself for long periods of time and you haven't found ways to utilize that time for your growth and for you to learn something new and expose yourself to something that's actually great for you. But you don't, many of you may not give yourself enough time to actually even think about something that you would be interested in, because you're not used to silence. Many can be used to chaos because that's what your environment has always been, chaotic. So if it gets too quiet, you might even feel uncomfortable. The challenge is to find things to do with self that you enjoy when no one's around and when the chaos simmers down. Okay? I heard simmer down. When you just slow down and just really pay attention to you and what you want to do. And that's another thing. You might be so selfless that every time someone around you needs something, you're there for them. And then when, you just so happen to come across some time for yourself, you don't even know what to do with yourself because you're so used to serving others that you don't even know what to do with alone time that you have, that you can be using to make yourself feel fulfilled in whatever way that is. So that's something that we have to get out of, because that's draining, that's stressful, that's burnout central. Nobody wants to drive down that lane. Okay? Nobody wants to drive down that lane. So if you could just give yourself some time, even if you just go to sleep, because if you ask Spirit to send you a message in your dreams, if it's time, they'll send it to you before you go to, they'll send it to you because you asked. If it's time for you to receive the message in your dreams, they'll give it to you. If it's not the right time, at least you got a good time rest. I don't want to say good night's rest, because maybe it's not nighttime when you find this alone time for yourself where you can do whatever you want. But it's really about rejuvenating yourself and just doing something that is satisfying to you, even if it is sleep, because sometimes that's all we need sometimes too. But we're used to moving so much and acting and being there for everyone else that there's many times that we forget about ourselves, and we can't do that because that's not healthy for us. All around, that's something that's just not healthy. It can make your heart heavy. It can make you aggravated. It can make you short-tempered. It comes along with so many other things when we don't give ourselves enough time for ourselves. We need time. Time to yourself is one of the most precious things that anyone can have. Or even time with someone that you love, like maybe a partner. Maybe some of you need time alone with your person, or with someone you just really click with. When you spend, okay, is one of course we need time to spend on our own, right? But when you find a special person that you can spend time with, and you're on the same page, meaning you just understand each other and you have the same goals and the same mission, that time alone is worth so much more. So I just heard it's good for you to spend time alone so you can spend time, so you can prepare yourself to spend time with others that you are in alignment with, because you'll understand more about what type of people you do want to spend time with when you're alone, because you'll be able to evaluate things that went wrong in other circumstances that you don't feel were the best for you. It's like analyzing yourself and analyzing your feelings towards certain circumstances. Sometimes things will happen to us, or people will act a certain way towards you, and it could frustrate you for the moment, but you are so busy that you just have to go. You can't even give it that much attention because you have things to do. So in those moments when you're by yourself, Spirit is saying you can have time to think about those moments where there's so many things you could have said, or there's so many ways that that situation could have gone, but because you were on schedule and you had to keep up with a certain schedule for whatever that is for you, you didn't, I don't want to say you didn't address it, because maybe it's just one of those things where you give your time where it's due. Sometimes things will happen so fast that you can't give your time to certain things that you may have wanted to give a little time to rectify a situation. And that's okay, because that's just life that happens. We can't spread ourselves too thin and be in 50 places at once. At least not yet. But anyway, Spirit is saying when you have that alone time, that is when you can evaluate those situations and understand what happened and how you really felt about it. Because there's things that can happen in life where you might, let it slide off your shoulder because you have more important things to do. But Spirit still wants you to look at it, though, so that you can understand what happened, you can understand how you felt, and you can understand what you need to do with that information and how to prepare yourself for the future, whether it's cutting that person off, or whether it's communicating something to that person, or working on compromising, whatever it is, because every situation is different. But it's more so just a focus on you. It's really, Spirit is saying that there's things that go down that you may feel like things were left unsaid. And Spirit is letting you know that you can create a closure in that space yourself, okay? I just heard it's like the little things. There's like these little things that are causing blockages for many of you, and they're so small. And they're so small that they still bother you, but you don't even realize that they're bothering you, because you don't talk about them to anybody. But it's harmful, because it's subconsciously suppressing you. That's what Spirit is saying. So that's why it's important for you to be alone, have that alone time, so you can think about things that bothered you, that you didn't like, that you kind of ignored, so you can allow yourself to process it. Because if multiple things happen to you that bother you, and you never give yourself a chance to process it, it builds up. It builds up in your background. And your background is basically, I feel like, your shadow self. The dark spaces. The dark spaces get filled up with clutter of circumstances that were never resolved. It's reminding me of like a bad relationship, a relationship that's just not going well. It could be romantic or not. It could be just whatever type of relationship. But imagine arguing with someone in various different ways for many different reasons, and there's always an argument, but then there's no solution, and that keeps happening. So there's multiple arguments that were never rectified, talked about to the point of healing it. So it just becomes a wound on top of a wound on top of a wound, and then it's like an infection. It's just infected. And then that's the point where both parties are so angry at each other that there is no communication anymore. It's just the ill grills and the cutting of the eye and the squinting of the eye, that glare is at that point where the two can't even communicate at all. So Spirit is saying that same concept, you could apply that to yourself, and that's what we do to ourselves when we don't take time alone in silence to hear our own thoughts and to pay attention to how those thoughts and those experiences that have brought those thoughts up made you feel, and then get to the root of why it made you feel that way. And you know, what do you want to do? What do you think you could do to fix it? Do you think you could fix it? If you would like to book a one-on-one coaching call with me, you can. It is on sale until January 1st. Okay, so if you want the sale price, book now, because after January 1st, the whole situation is going to shift into a whole nother place. Okay, so if you want, you know, to get that sale price now is the time. Okay, and I can talk to you about these things because there's no better time than to talk about these things now. It's like, what's the point of waiting? It's better to start to work on these things now than to say, I'll do it later, and then later becomes never. It's so easy to do that because there's so many distractions and so many responsibilities that you have as an adult, that you keep putting yourself on the back burner. You keep putting yourself last, and then you never really look at yourself, and then you still have a pile of destruction in your shadow that chips at you every day in different ways. Okay, so in these spaces, in these blind spots, that's where your passions are, in the blind spots. Your passions are in the blind spots. Your passions are deeper than you think. Okay? So the key is to wear your passions proud once you figure out what you have been endowed with. I just heard. Wear your passions proudly because you deserve to bask in them. Those are like the major loves of your life. Passions become love. It's like love of your life. The love of your life is your passion. You know, I never really promote it because I just want to talk and I forget to like promote my merch. But I do have a little mascot. His name is More Fire. And he's in the shop down below. So if you just click the shop, you'll see him. He is the mascot right now for MNHONEYROSE. And he basically represents the spark to your passion and not letting your fire go out. And being totally on love. That's why on the back of the shirt it says "Tote on Love," because that's a representation of living totally on love and in love with life, in love with yourself. You know, because in order for you to be in love at all, it has to start with you. Remember I said everything starts with you? Because it's true, it does. Everything starts with you. So if anybody tries to say that it doesn't, that's not true. Because when you start with you, you start with God. You know, because God you find within you. You know, that is the safe space. The safe space is it within you. Remember, I told you we are the temple, we are the church, each and every one of us. And when you move from a place of love and good intention, you can't go wrong because there's love there. There's God is there. There's protection there. There's so much there for you. It is an overflow of abundance that consists of everything you need, really. Everything you need is within you already. It's just we tend to be redirected to think that we need so many other things. And what we're really doing when we purchase all these things and do all these things to try to feel better, we're just really ignoring our ability to tap into self. But then I can't even really say ignoring, because most of us don't even know that that's the way to fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. And then that emotional fulfillment brings you to fulfillment from a 360 point of view all around. Okay, my love, so I hope this message does get to who needs to hear it. Everything that you do, do it with love. Always remember that the creator is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can. You can just go ahead and look at the top where it says the Cash App there. I always put it at the top. It's MNHONEYROSE. Okay. So I appreciate you in advance for whoever does donate. Thank you. It does serve a beautiful purpose because it's going to go towards raising the vibration of the earth. Okay? Because we have to get better. We have to heal now. It's time to stop playing. Even though a little play, a little laughter is okay, because it's already challenging. This process is challenging. So we have to smile, because then it's going to get too overwhelming, and we don't want to feel overwhelmed. There's already enough in life overwhelming us, and we don't need to add to that. Okay? So let's make it simple for ourselves instead of making it more difficult. All right, my honey roses. I will see you in the next video.